Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 5 of Outhouse Thoughts. I am Outhouse. I am Russ Fisher. These are my thoughts, ramblings, rantings, ravings. I don't even know what they are anymore, but they're just crap I need to talk about. Um, Also, you get to see how crazy my brain is. Uh, Sorry if I'm speaking a little weird. I burned my mouth on some mini tacos during lunch. Also, if you can get to a Costco there, or I don't know if they're anywhere else, just Bear chicken nuggets, Bare, not actual bear. Freaking delicious in an air fryer. Just absolutely go do it. Any kind of sauce, ketchup, barbecue, all works. So good. Honey, an underrated chicken nugget dipping sauce, by the way. So I'm going out of order. There was sort of an order I had in my head of where I was going to go with all of this. Why I bothered is the wrong word, but why I did the last two episodes that I did was going to lead to a couple of other things, family related stuff that was, the fallout from everything I've been through. But I'm not going to do that now. I something happened a few times over the past few days, and it's just something I have felt for as long as I can remember, and I have absolutely no idea where or why. Like, wouldn't it be great if there was just like, if you're like, you had like a memory bank or something where you'd be like, look, I know this happens to me. Where was the first time this happened? You usually be like, boop, boop, boop. And you find out like what that traumatic experience was that made you this way. Like, I figure that's going to happen. Like, if you watch Black Mirror, then it's definitely going to have to be able to happen, right? Because they had that thing where you can just like all your eyes were being recorded and everything. But dude, I don't need privacy. Our cell phones know everything already. I'm gonna have probably ads for Black Mirror all over Twitter at this point. After since I just said it out loud next to my phone. Come on, man, make everyone's lives better. Use your scary things that you do for good. So this traumatic experience, or feeling that probably stemmed from a traumatic experience somewhere is I am terrified to assume I am included in a group, or honestly, to assume I am close with someone or some group of people. Okay, let's get into this a little bit. So, all right, strange kind of story. So I have a friend who lives with my wife, my son, my daughter, and we have a friend that lives with us. Friend is kind of weird. She's family at this point, but I mean, I guess we'll get to that. So when my kids were like young, like 1 and 3, 2 and 4, something like that, we had one of their daycare teachers come over 2, 3 days after work just to watch the kids so we can cook and do laundry or do dishes, because if no one has two kids that are that young and like just learn to walk and just learn to talk and ask questions and ask why to everything, it's fucking exhausting, and it's literally impossible to get anything done making sure these two things don't a kill themselves, or b, because honestly, like, man, like, I don't know if you've ever talked with a very young child, because if they don't hear you respond to them, they just keep asking over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and it's awful. So yes, we had someone come over and pay attention to the kids while we were able to get stuff done. And her name is Ariel, and just so I could actually say a name instead of this person. And she was, I think at the time, like 26, and as capitalism has its priorities way messed up, was making clearly no money as a daycare teacher. And what do 26-year-olds who make absolutely no money do? They live with their parents. And what 26-year-old likes living with their parents? No offense to anyone listening who is 26 or around there, lives at home and does enjoy living with their parents. I just know I would hate it, and I knew she hated it. So, it would get to, after a couple months of her coming over, watching the kids, going home, we became a lot closer, a lot friendlier. And she would just be like, all right, well, your kids were in bed like 2 hours ago. It's like 10:30 now. We've just been hanging out. Guess I'll go home now. And we're just like, we have a room. Why don't you just sleep over? And then it turned into, well, you sleep here twice a week. Why don't you just start leaving stuff here? Okay, well, you live here you sleep over 3 times a day. Why don't you just move in? It's whatever, man. So eventually, yes, she ended up moving in. She lives with us now. My kids are 6 and 8, and it's she doesn't watch the kids or anything anymore. She is just a fixture of our household. She lives with us. So the reason I told you this entire story is, like I said, at some point her name is Ariel. And growing up, Ariel, even nowadays, all of her friends call her Ari. This woman was living in my house, and I could not bring myself to call her Ari because for some reason I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, hey, Ari. Why did he just what does he think? He think he knows me well enough to call me my nickname? Who the hell does he think he is? And yes, she told me I could. That doesn't matter. So yeah, so like it took months after moving in, after I even acknowledged it out loud and she called me crazy, which we know. Um Hold on, mini tacos. Oh, ow. Um so yeah, and it's to that point where there is literally a person living in my house that I literally talk to every single day that is insanely similar of a person to I am, which is even funnier because we have the exact same insecurities. And someone who has flat out told me, you can call me by my nickname, and I couldn't do it. And it's not even like calling her an offensive nickname or something completely different from her. It's literally just a shortened version of her name. Her name is Ariel, Arielle. She just goes by Ari, Ari. Like it's not someone calling her Outhouse or something like that. It's literally just a shortened name, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. It was months before I was able to do it. And honestly, it came out once by accident. And then it's like, she didn't, okay, nothing. We're good. Yeah. All right, cool. I'll do this from now on. Like, so another version of this story, when I was much younger, when I was probably around 26, I was at a job, and clearly I'm terrible at making friends. So I ate lunch with my boss, every day. And then after a while, my boss and I started sitting with these two other people. And then because my boss was terrible at his job, he got fired. So I find myself by myself, even though my boss and I, for months, were sitting with these two other people. And of course, me being terrified just to even walk over them and ask, I go and I sit by myself. And they just sort of look over at me and are like, you can sit with us, right? And of course, I'm just like, well, yeah, but I couldn't ask. And if I sat down and you were just like, excuse me, we let you sit here because we liked the other guy and not you, I don't know what the hell I would do with myself. Literally, honestly, nothing would even happen. I'd just be like, oh, all right. I'd move over to another seat and then cry myself to sleep at night and probably get over it. But man, like, I don't know what the hell it was. In my head, I didn't belong there. It was purely because of the other person. But yeah, so after that, sat with them forever, and we were friends and all of that stuff. But it was just really something strange that to this day, and like, I mean, I'm going back to that story with the job. I was probably 26 ish, 27, somewhere around there. Like, so at this point, that's over 10 years ago. And still to this day, it's really strange. It's just, um, Zach Reed at Tassin Assassin 13, super called me out on this one day. When they just first started up the DFPN network, the best and only network in town, shout out. I was like DMing him, poking a little bit to see if, I could be part of the crew and stuff like that. And I was being super polite, super like vague because I was terrified just to ask the question. And he literally at one point just goes, Russ, we are friends. You are part of the group. You can knock it the fuck off. I wish Shaq could actually say knock it the fuck off, but I don't think he actually did. And seriously, yes, part of the group. Stop it. Not, and honestly, okay, hold on. We're going to go over there for a second. Yeah. Well, why would he just be so open about that? Is he just like drawing me in to make me look like an ass in front of everyone else? I mean, like, there's a bunch of people in there that I like, a bunch of people that I respect. Is he just going to drag me in here and make a fool of me. Why would he do that? That's fucked up. What the hell? Now, of course, if you've ever spoke to Zach for 3 seconds, that's not something he would do. But that doesn't matter to that. And it's something that follows me to this day. It's like it takes a lot for me to even just DM someone I don't talk to on a daily-ish basis, and especially when I don't get a response. Or screw that. Let's go bigger freaking scale. I am the DLF podcast director. I don't even know what it's called anymore. I go into the DLF Slack and I ask a question and no answer. And why is no one answering me? Well, clearly they don't really want you here. They brought you here for some god unknown reason. Maybe you just have too many followers, so they brought you on to say you have it. Yes, I know you have your podcast on this network, but we're completely ignoring that. You were just there because Brian Harr was part of DLF when he did this, and they've just been too nice to kick you out. They don't actually like you. They're just trying to, I don't know what they're trying to get out of it, but they're trying to get something. And now look, I know none of this is real, and that's the shit part of all of it. There you go, lights. I know that none of this is real. 98%. I'm going to settle on 2% of me is super fucked up and believe it's real. But like it doesn't matter that it's not real. And that, I think, is one of the bigger things I wanted to like round this out to. First, yes, I love just showing you people that I am insane because A, I hope saying it out loud helps. B, I hope it's funny. And that's really it. But seriously, like, and it's not, this isn't me hoping everyone comes out and says, yes, you're part of our group. Even going back to the very first episode when I talked about those like FF, no, not FF, that's us, the Twitter thing where they had like that circle family thing where, people you talk to was like your Twitter family or something like that. Like if someone I ever thought was actually like a Twitter friend and I wasn't on there, I would just be distraught. I would be destroyed. People I didn't know. It still bothered me that I wasn't there. And I think that, kind of made things worse. I don't even know if that's even true. But like, I'm still to this day just terrified to assume I'm in a group with people, to assume I'm friends with people, to assume that because we're nice on Twitter, if I met you in the street, you would give me the time of day. And again, if you're looking or listening or whatever you're doing with this and saying, I think he's talking about me, it has nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you. I mean, yes, I am referring to you, but this is nothing you have done. This is nothing you have not done. This is not something you can control. All up in here, all up in the crazy. So yeah. So why am I listing things this entire time? So just know if I DM you and it's not something I normally do, it took a lot of freaking build up for me to get in there and actually do that just because I'm terrified of what happens if people don't answer. Nothing. Literally nothing. If no one answers, nothing happens and it doesn't matter. And again, I know that, but it doesn't. And I would appreciate if you just said, hey, I'll get back to you in like a day. I'm busy. All right. That's really it. I mean, I don't really know where else to go with this because I have like 80 other examples of me not feeling like part of a crowd. And honestly, I can't think of any examples where I assumed I was a part of a crowd and it went bad for me. That's the real problem. That's why I wish we had, hard drive with our memories and I could feel like, what, why, where, how, who, any of those answers. And I got nothing, but maybe we could form a group of people who are afraid to assume they're parts of a group, in which case no one would show to the meetings. All right. Well, it is time for me to get back to work because I ate a lot of mini tacos and chicken nuggets for lunch and didn't get down here till too late. But thanks for watching. Catch you next time on Outhouse Thoughts. And there's plenty of crazy for me to keep going. So yeah, bye.